This is a collection of early season hunts in which I travel to the extremes of Washington State, west side to east side. Over here we're chasing them on saltwater marshes. Over there it's pothole cattail marshes. It's all about timing when you're trying to catch those first migrations of ducks coming out of Canada. Here on the coast, the timing comes with storms and tides. Definitely want to hit it when the weather is at its worst. There's high winds, any direction, dry out of the north, moist out of the south, combined with tidal fluctuations. The tides change throughout the year at different times, and as we grow closer to December, more and more area becomes available to the ducks to feed in when the higher tides flood different areas that have not been available to them since the summer solstice. So being able to line up a good storm with when the water is going to be at its highest, willing to bet you're going to hit the migration dead on when you're there. Keep in mind the coast is a staging area. A lot of ducks pile in there early season and they kind of just loaf around and feed until the rains come. Once the heavy rains come and flood the fields, it could be at any time in November, hunting typically tends to die off hunting coastal marshes. But they could pick up at any time that we get an Arctic air mass and we get ice and freeze-ups. It's a good place to hit birds when it gets really cold as well. The timing I'm looking for over on the Columbia Basin is I'm actually looking for snow and cold weather to the north and to the east of the Columbia Basin in the Rocky Mountains. So what that's going to do, or at least what I theorize, is it freezes up there and it forces the birds down into the agricultural plains of the Columbia Basin. And then once they're there, it seems like they either loaf around or until the food is gone or until weather pushes them out. So things fluctuate there too. New birds show up, the hunting's on, they get used to the surroundings, and then you got to wait for more extreme winter weather to hit in the surrounding areas to move new birds or to concentrate them into different areas. There's a lot of food available to them on the Columbia Basin in the form of agriculture. Timing also comes in the form of being there when they're cutting the fields or when the temperature hits the right degree. I heard Fred Zink say once that ducks and geese don't start eating the corn until the temperatures get below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Anytime you get a northwest, northeast, east wind, clear sunny skies but cold, seems to be really good over there. The cattail marshes that we tend to hunt seem to be best 10 o'clock a.m. till about 2 or 3 p.m. Lots of traffic flying around to and from the feeding fields and water. It's outstanding hunting over there if you can get into a good spot that's a traditional flight lane and be there when the wind really picks up. It is just past the midway point of November and the weather has been unlike a La Nina year. It is a weaker La Nina this year and the third year of the climate pattern, but the weather is it's been strange so far, to say the least. Leading up to opening day, we had never-ending summer, lots of forest fire smoke, low water levels, very dry. It seemed like all the way up to about Halloween. And then from Halloween through about the first weekend of November, we had a series of Pacific storms. And one night it rained 3 inches straight of water out of the sky, and it started to flood a lot of the fields around here, put water in our field. And then it just stopped, and our whole weather pattern has been taken over since about just before Veterans Day with cold, dry Canada air that has made everything icy and frosty and dropped those water levels back down. And it was this current cold snap that pushed the first big wave of migrants into our state. All we're waiting on now is more rain to come to change the climate conditions, put more water in our fields, cause a second round of migrations from the coast inland. Next big stage of the migration awaits. Traditionally, in our neck of the woods, big storms, lots of rain really start to pound Washington State around Thanksgiving time. It is Sunday, October the 22nd, and we are down on Washington tide waters chasing October ducks. Did really well here yesterday. I was hunting with Nick, but the weather was very rainy and I didn't want to take the camera equipment out. And Sarah and I are back for day number 2. We'll see how it turns out. It's a couple hours after a really low tide, which was early in the morning. And right now we're just playing the waiting game for the water to start flooding up in this giant cut here. Very muddy down in there. And the birds move with the tide here for sure. As soon as the water comes up in here, brings the ducks with it. The rain, mists, and fog have blown off. The sun is coming out. The tide's coming in very quickly. And the wind is getting stronger out of the northwest. The only thing we need now are some birds in the bag. Had a few chances, but nothing really has committed yet. So Sarah drew first blood of the day. What happened with that mallard?
He just came right in, missed with the first shot, pulled out a little bit further in front of him, and dead.
Yeah, we're pretty much, Sarah and I each brought about 1.5 boxes of shells, and we're gonna go until either we get our limits or we're out of ammunition. Try and get more of those. Shot, Sarah. We are splitting up. There's thousands of ducks working the flats right now. And Sarah's gonna go sit over there in her aquapod because there's just a lot of birds decoying over there, or just setting up. That way we'll kind of keep them moving. It's getting really windy, hard to row with the aquapods. We are all packed up and just about back to the truck. in, combined with the northwest wind, was kicking up these giant mats of weeds, and the weeds were running into the decoy spread, getting tangled up in the lines, and before I knew it, almost all the decoys were a tangled mess of weeds and lines and deeks going down the channel. And so while Sarah had broken away from me and was over hunting another spot, I was really stressed out picking up all the decoys. I'd pick one up and then the wind would push me all the way down and I'd have to row back up to get the next one. And I pretty much missed out on the time frame when it was the best hunting. But nonetheless, we both made some really good shots. Sarah got a nice drake pintail. I got a nice drake pintail. We each got a nice green head, got some widgeon, one green winged teal. Thousands of ducks out there today. They were on either side of us of where we wanted to be. Just a lot of moving, a lot of work, a lot of back and forth to hunt these tide flats for sure. It's a lot calmer once we got away from the water up in here. The wind has died down for sure. It's pretty warm. I didn't think it'd be this warm today. So many pintails out here. That was the #1 duck that we saw today over mallards, widgeon, and green-winged teal. Gonna give it another couple weeks before we come back out here again. We hunted it pretty hard this weekend. It seems like right after high tide, all the ducks left. During the ebb, we were hoping that they'd be flying around a little bit more, but they hike-tailed it out of there. Definitely blew out the spot this weekend. So we're gonna give it a couple of weeks of rest. Maybe some other people will hunt it. Who knows? We'll be back probably the first couple of weeks of November on some higher tides. Try it again. Here's a closer look at the birds for the day. 3 really nice drakes right there. Nice pintail, just coming out of its immature stage, getting some nice feathers. Nice big green head, and that widgeon is gorgeous. That was the last duck I got. And here there's a hen green-winged teal. Nice big fat Susie. Another hen widgeon, and there's Sarah's birds right there. She did really good shooting today. Dropped that drake mallard at a pretty far distance. I got that pintail on camera. I got her dropping that one. That's the only action footage I really got today. And then there's another widgeon that she got. It is Friday, October the 28th. It is the last weekend of the month of October. I'm starting the day off right with a nice little pile of ducks. Finished on hen mallards. Got to be selective now. Holly's having a really good morning and getting lots of swim time. And there are a lot of birds east of the Cascades right now. Well, it's hard to believe that the first month of waterfowling is almost over with. It is the last weekend of October. I took today off of work, came over to Eastern Washington. I'm looking for Halloween mallards over here on the Columbia Basin. I tend to usually start coming over here about this time of the year, the end of October. Seems like there's a good push of birds that first come down out of wherever they're coming, combined with, you know, all the agriculture that's going on here, as well as the weather. I noticed it was going to be windy over here this weekend, and whenever there's wind greater than 15 miles per hour, I try to be there. It was windy overnight. When I woke up in the morning, it was still pretty windy out, coming out of the south. And then about shooting hours, it kind of died down, it got calm. And then I'd say about 9 o'clock, it started picking up again. It's pretty steady now, probably 15 miles per hour. But the strongest wind is forecasted to be on the 30th, which is Sunday. There's a lot of birds in the area right now. I'm done with 6, minus my 7th. I never got it. It's kind of embarrassing. I ended up shooting really good this morning at the harder passing shots. This is a great passing shot area. There's a lot of ducks just coming and going. They're not really decoying. So most of these weren't even decoying this morning. They were all just passing by 30 to 40 meters over the top of me. And then the easy ones that came in about 10 o'clock, you know, the ones that were returning from the field, I missed quite a bit of it and ran through all my shells and done with the box. And I'm done. I'm going back to the room tonight, come back and try again tomorrow. As you know, things are tight. I'm trying to limit what I shoot. So I only brought out a box today, and I'm going to limit myself to a box tomorrow, and probably a box on Sunday because it's all I got. So I better get better at my technique and hitting those closer ducks for sure. There's a lot of geese in the area, small ones, a lot of cacklers. I was working them with the call. They're doing circles around me to the clucks and the moans and the honks. But you can't shoot them today. It's Friday in this goose management area. It's Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays, and certain holidays. So I have to wait for tomorrow. But I have a feeling it could be kind of good for both ducks and geese tomorrow. There's a spot over there all the ducks are going down in. I'm going to use this opportunity to go scout and see if I can find where they're going down at. Maybe set myself up for a very dynamite hunt tomorrow. We'll see what happens with that.
And here's a close-up of the birds today. First Eastern Washington widgeon. 2 big green heads with very orange feet. A lot of mallards around today. And 1 Drake green-winged teal. Looks like my timing was right. They're over there cutting that corn right now. This should be getting better over the next couple of weeks here with all that food sitting over there. Dead bird, Holly.
Good morning. It is October the 30th, 2022. It is my final day over here in Eastern Washington on this 3-day weekend trip. So on Friday, I scouted this spot that I'm at right now, and there were a lot of ducks in here. I came back on Saturday, and I sat here just to see what would happen in the morning darkness. And quite a few guys came in and set up, you know, around me. And I figured that it'd be too much pressure to hunt this particular location yesterday. And so I went and hunted another spot. Did all right. I got 6, but it was really, really warm. in the afternoon yesterday and really calm. There was no wind whatsoever. But it was 30 degrees and cold in the morning. Today, woke up to 10 to 20 mile per hour winds, overcast, and when I rolled up to the parking lot this morning, there was nobody around. So there's a lot less pressure today, and the conditions are more favorable for waterfowling for sure. I've already tagged first blood, made a nice epic shot on a Drake mallard. They've been working all right. I'm gonna stick it out here and see what happens. I always enjoy hunting new spots. So far it's been pretty cool here. Got 3 birds already. As soon as I shot my introduction film, I turned around. There was a big flock of cacklers coming really low behind me. And I think I broke his legs on the first shot and he started going down. And then on the second one, I aimed out in front of him when he was falling, folded him. Hopefully we can get some more. The birds are actually working really good. If you just be patient, I got a good setup here. Let's see if we can get some more greenheads.
These aquapods are cool because you can kind of just stash them anywhere, throw a little bit of grass over them, and they kind of blend in, with or without. I'm kind of just hunting. Can't see it, but there's little pockets of water in and out through all this grass in here. Water is high right now. It's flooded all this food. There's a lot of natural grasses, drop their seeds, and a lot of smartweed. Same plants that kind of grow at our farm in Elman. Maybe you can kind of see some of the water now. There's little rivulets running in and out through here. And there were a lot of birds in here on Friday. I'd say hundreds stacked in here. That's what they're eating right there. Those seeds are just falling off of those grass plants, floating on the top of the water, and they're in here dabbling on them for sure. More right there. That's exactly what they're here for. That food won't last forever. It's ripe right now and falling off the plant.
Well, it's about 12:30 p.m. I picked up the decoys. It's time to get out. This concludes my weekend trip to Eastern Washington, and it also concludes all the waterfowling for the month of October 2022. This month I definitely went around to all my spots across Washington State to kind of get a taster and see what the conditions are like going into this season. There's definitely a lot of local birds around here, but along with the weather, everything's getting kind of stagnant. Really hot, really warm over here this weekend. Not really too much weather, a lot of hunting pressure, and the birds just seem really wise. Definitely should have had my limit today. There were a lot of birds working this spot. I was working them with the call. They definitely were giving me some attention. Just piss poor shooting. I'm really embarrassed and ashamed of myself for going through so many shells this weekend and not having a limit every day to show for it. But that's okay. I'm just getting warmed up. October is over with. This month is usually just about getting all the kinks out. November is just around the corner. It's only a couple days away. And along with that month will come all the rain, all the storms, and hopefully all the northern weather and all the northern ducks along with it. Traditionally, November has been one of the better months out of the season. Can really stack up the birds. All I know is the hunting is about to get really dynamite. As soon as the winter weather sets in, the fields flood, and more fresh migrants arrive to our area. I can't wait for it. The heart of the waterfowl season is just about to begin.
Here's a close-up of the birds from today. 3 nice big fat greenheads, 1 hen mallard, and a cackler. This is what several inches of rain falling in a day will do. The lowest spot on our property is a giant pond now. It's only inches deep right now, but with continued rain, it's just going to fill up and up and up and turn the whole property into a lake. This section here is flowing really good. I wonder if Workman Creek came up too during this last storm. I'm pretty sure we have an old creek bed snaking through the middle of our field here. And you can see how the uncut section is filling up nicely with water and providing lots of food to the birds once they figure out it's here. Shouldn't take long. This pond here is actually fairly deep, and it's filled in nicely. And we got another one over there on the other side that's starting up too. This is looking really good. It's so cool when it all comes together like this. All we need are our feathered friends to start using it. So this here is evidence that Purgatory Creek definitely came over its banks. And this is adding water to our field from another side. It's flowing pretty good.
Well, good morning. It is Saturday, November the 5th, 2022, and the month has turned over from October to November. Traditionally, this is one of the better months of the waterfowling season, and it seems like a lot of prayers to the duck gods have been paying off. We're finally getting the winter weather. It rained like the T-Rex scene in Jurassic Park all last night, at times this morning. Very, very windy, very stormy. The negative P&A is dominating the Pacific Northwest, and we're getting a lot of weather from the Gulf of Alaska right now. It rained 3 inches at times down here on the coastal tide flats yesterday, and there's definitely a lot of new birds. I had my limit by 8:30 this morning. I really didn't do much filming just because it was so nasty and snotty out, but the wind brought them down low. There's a lot of new birds here right now, and I think the hunting and gunning is going to be good for a while. The rain is supposed to be showers and pretty heavy at times. 20-mile-per-hour winds out of the northwest all weekend today, and then after that, we're going to get cold air behind all this moisture. A lot of guys that I've been talking to have just been feeling like the birds are just really educated, kind of stagnant, used to their surroundings. I didn't see that today. It just seems like there's a lot of new northerns that just showed up. I'm really happy about that. Trying to get out of here. The water's going to come in and flood all of this very soon. And I've done some scouting to know that it's probably going to be good here tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain more, really heavy at times, pretty much all weekend. It's good that the grayness, the traditional wet, rainy Pacific Northwest weather is finally back. Endless summer pretty much come to an end. Lot of green-winged teal this morning. That's the prize duck of the day, that baldipate Wigianus right there. And unfortunately, I had to take 2 Susies. Really good shots. And that's actually a really good looking hen pintail right there. That's the #1 bird that's out here at the moment, is pintails. There's a
Happy Veterans Day. It is November 11th, 2022, and the chase across the state for migrant ducks continues. Just going back and forth, seems like from the west side to the east side, chasing the migration and just trying to time it right and be there when it happens. Duck hunting is kind of like a poker game, and you have so many good hands you can play. And I played a good hand last weekend on the coast, did really well, and took a chance and played another hand. Came back over here east of the Cascades this weekend to see how I would do. The reason why I chose to come over here is because of the weather and the conditions. All last week it got really cold, it snowed a lot in the Rockies and the Cascades. We had some major Pacific storms last weekend, and I feel like the northerns showed up on the west side last weekend, and if it happened there, I kind of had a hunch it would happen here as well. So that's what brings me here over Veterans Day holiday. I just had a feeling that a lot of northerns would get pushed down into the Columbia Basin from Canada and from the Rockies over in Idaho and Montana, just because of the snow that they had. It's not forecasted to be snowy here. There was 2 feet on the pass on the way over here, very consolidated. It is, however, very cold. It was probably in the upper teens, low 20s this morning when I got out here. My gloves were frozen. Putting my hands in them, it made them very numb and painful. And the wind is out of the north today, about I'd say 10 to 15 miles per hour at times. It's really not too bad right now. It was calmer in the morning, but it's picked up over the last hour. It's very chilly out. There is a skein of ice all over all the still water, but there is moving water here. But it has dropped about, I'd say, 6 inches since the last time I was here. The gadwalls have arrived. There's a lot more of them that I saw today, and I had my limit by about 7:45 this morning. I shot a lot better than I did the last time I was here. Only went through about a half box of shells to get my 7. I stuck around for a bit to see if I can pull some geese. It's always a bonus, but they're really not giving me any attention. And just because I want to come back and do good again tomorrow, I pulled up the decoys, and I'm going to get out of here a little bit early and go get some rest. November is turning out to be a stellar month. It hasn't been this cold this early in the season for a while. Let the good times roll. Here's a closer look at the birds obtained today. Got the first gadwalls of the 2022-23 season. Pretty hen heavy today. Got 2 green-winged teal. That widgeon right there just has an amazing color to its breast. Probably came from those plains below the Rockies at the head of the Clark Fork River. 2 big Susies, and then the prize of the day. Look at that Drake gadwall. He's a prime specimen. Look at the coloration on his wings there. This one here is even better. That white patch. That dark cinnamon brown streak right there. The old gray duck has arrived. It is Saturday, November the 12th, 2022. I got my friend Claudio hunting with me today. We're trying something a bit different. We're up in the Grand Coulee, just above the Columbia Basin. And I swear this cove was loaded with canvasbacks and redheads yesterday. And we're trying to get one. A little bit different conditions than what was happening yesterday, though. It's not as windy as it was. We're going to give it a little bit here and see what happens, and then move if we have to. Wood duck.
Jesus Christ, where the hell did that thing come from? Holy goddamn. Here?
So Claudio just shot this wood duck. It's completely out of place over here. We were not expecting that at all. It's an immature drake. Came right into the canvasback decoys.
Crazy.
And then Raven finally got to go get a duck.
Yeah. Now you can calm down.
Shoot it again. Claudio just bagged a canvas back.
That's my first one, actually.
Swam right into the decoys.
Here.
Evidently, this is Claudio's first ever canvas back. It's a hen, but a prime specimen.
Yep.
Canvasback is actually the best eaten duck ever. That's some of the best table fare right there.
Your first canvas back too, huh?
Hopefully we'll get some more here. Well, we're picking up a few birds. Had a couple of mallards surprise us out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting that. But this is one of the biggest drake mallards I think I've gotten this season. Complete TV set. Got blood on my hands. It's really cool when that happens. Look at the size of this duck. Been feeding on all those wheat fields around here. Stuffed with grain. Absolutely humongous. Kind of strange, we came here for canvasbacks, and first we ended up with a wood duck. And that wood duck should have migrated when he had the chance. And then Claudio did end up getting his first canvasback, but it was a hen. Still, we got the bird we came here for, so it was a success. Definitely going to come back to this spot in the future. I really enjoyed hunting here. Really peaceful. We have left the coulee country to the north. We've made it back down to the Columbia Basin and the land of potholes. We're reset up before noon, trying to get in a good evening shoot. We'll see if they come in here when they leave for the evening feed.
Right there!
Claudio's been on fire this afternoon. So is Raven. Just itching to get after him.
Good girl. Come here. You gonna take it back? You gonna take it all the way back? Come on, good girl. Oh fuck, I didn't even see that one. got him?
Shoot him again.
Wait, I couldn't see him. Touch him up! Good girl, here. Come on.
Well, we pulled it off. We hunted 2 different spots today and got 14 ducks. There are 3 ducks sitting in the truck. Claudio got a wood duck in his canvasback, first one ever.
First canvasback, yep.
At the first spot that we hunted. And then we came down here and had a really good afternoon. It was pretty awesome. It wasn't as windy as it was the last couple of days, but definitely colder in the morning. And it just turned on and off as far as the wind goes and the conditions, you know, but overall a stellar day. There's definitely, it seems like a lot of new ducks in the area.
A lot of new naive ducks in the area. easy to decoy, very call responsive. Yeah, great day. Dog work was awesome. We only lost what, one cripple today, got away. Everything else we brought back, so
it's kind of cool
awesome
watching
day.
you shoot that canvas back.
Yeah, first one ever. Awesome deal. Yep. Spectacular views this morning down at the lake where we were at. So, yeah, all in all, it was a very good day.
It was a classic day of waterfowling. It just felt like this is what it's all about right here, you know, just making it happen.
Yep.
Good everything all around.
Yep, making moves. Yep, things slowed up at one place. We made a move, came here, and within what, 3 hours?
We're done by 2.
3 hours we did this. So, yeah, can't complain.
I think we were set up before noon.
Yep.
And then it's just like bang, 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 like a little bit of like fast, intense action here and there.
Yep.
They made us work for them, and it's good we can get done and get out of here and go get some rest.
Do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, see if we can pull it off one more day for the Veterans Day commemorative.
Yep.
Here's a close-up of the birds today. Just a smorgasbord of puddlers. Got a lot of widgeon around. The gadwalls have showed up. A lot of teal. Big fat television set mallards. I mean, you name it. It's happening right here. I set up with decoys at one spot this morning. Not much was happening. So I kind of relocated to where the flight line is currently located. And as soon as I got here, I immediately pass shot 2 cacklers. There's a lot of them moving right now. This fog bank is kind of moving in really quick. I think it's helping me. We have reached a lull in the action for the morning. This beautiful fog is rolling through, and the wind has kind of switched from the north to the south. It was supposed to be light and variable today. I've missed a few ducks at this spot. Down to a half box of shells. Can I make it happen? Give it a few more minutes here and then make my next move. Well, I'm down to 3 shells in my pocket. I'm just about done here. Burned through a lot of ammo at this spot, but I'm still glad I came over here. Got 3 nice Drake greenheads and 2 cackling Canada geese. A little bit of pass shooting, a little bit of decoying.
Ducks are really receptive to the call in this place. All around, that's what duck hunting's all about. I'm gonna make my way back to where I set up this morning, decide what I'm gonna do there. I might shoot my last 3 shells and try and get a couple more birds, or I might just go home with a little bit of imperfection in this weekend's hunt.
And here's the close-up of the birds from today. Lucked out with those geese. Very nice drake mallards. One of them was like probably 10 feet from the end of my gun barrel, and I can hit him, but I missed quite a bit today. Just got to come back in different conditions and do a little bit better next time. All in all, though, I can't complain. It was an incredible weekend of hunting the Columbia Basin.